Hello, I'm Matt Gunn from House.com, and this is a pair of 2019 Vans High Standard Pro boots. This is a boot that is kind of came to be from the V66. It's one of a couple of boots within the Vans line that's part of the High Standard series and collection. They have the Pro for the kind of the top end. They have the OG for everyone else in between, and then for those really young jibby kids, they have the linerless DX, but this is the Pro. This is a team favorite. Its design is driven by innovation, of course, function, and they're actually really comfortable. They're for all and freestyle use. You can ride side country, you can ride groomers and be in the parks, and you can really fall in love with these things. They're heat moldable, and they're for anyone from basically intermediate to advanced level in ability because of the flex rating. Now, I'd say they're a little bit stiffer than your average boot. Of course, they'll break in, but you can probably give them about a 5-6 style feel. But they have a couple little things that make them feel and be a little bit more supportive and, of course, more responsive. Now, this is a traditional lace style boot. You can actually separate the lower and upper zone style tensions with the tongue tension system that you find on this kind of 3D shaped firm flexing tongue. A cool part about this tongue, though, is it features a tongue lockdown too. So on the inside of the tongue, there's a little loop. So when you tighten that mid-step, it actually forces the tongue's mid-step section or instep into that heel area to lock your heels into the heel pocket. Now that's one big problem that a lot of snowboarders get. So on the toe side edge, getting heel lift. Vans combats that with that heel lockdown style system. There's no real like flex notches in the boot, but they do have a nice little plush style or pleasure cuff along that backside. So there's not like a harsh bite, but there still is a good amount of support with those double backstays. Another great thing about the boot is the power strap. You'll see that across the front of the tongue. Now, the one great thing about, or another great thing about the design of this power strap is that you don't have to wear it on the outside of your boot. You can actually just wear it on the inside across the front of the liner, or you can just cut it off if you like to. I tend to like my boots to be super tight up on top. So when I ride the OG or the Pro, I actually put it all on the top side. You know, I like to have this lower section kind of loose for better circulation with my feet. Another cool thing about the boot is actually the heat retention layer. They've actually updated it for this year to actually encapsulate the toe box. So not only is the heat retention layer under your feet, but it's also around your toes. That keeps the heat inside and the cold outside. The tongue is great. You know, like I said, you know, it has a kind of 3D style shape. It's a little bit more firm style flexing. Has a nice little pull tab for pulling them on and off. And then there's, of course, internal gussets. But the fabric on this colorway is pretty cool. It's kind of like I think this is actually genuine leather. I don't think this is a synthetic leather. There's a ballistic style nylon, of course. And then the black colorway just has like a synthetic style material on the outside instead of this, what I think is actually leather. And then, of course, is the mid and the outsole. Now, this is what's called the V2 Waffle Flex outsole. It has ultra cushion in the mid step, so it absorbs lots of impact, but it still has rubber in those high abrasion areas with a inverse waffle style sole tread. So you can still grip around, but for the most part, they actually kind of reduce the amount of rubber in the boot to keep it just a little bit more lightweight. Inside this bad boy is a V2 style harness. Now, the harness system, which is kind of hard to see here, actually wraps around the V2 liner, but you know, it does have a lockdown system, so it's not going to become loose, and there's a nice little loop in there to get those hard to reach section. But then a V2 harness wraps around, yeah, this V2 Ultra Cush liner. This is a dual density liner, has internal J bars, it's heat moldable, has a pleasure cuff along the top side for better comfort. A comfort flex style toe box, so when you land deep in the basement, you're not going to blow out your boots. There's a little comfort notch to keep the pressure distributed across the top of your foot with your ankle strap, and then there's this X cage. Now this X cage is kind of cool because you can kind of adjust where you want it to be if you have little weird pressure points and such. So this actually will stiffen the boot up just slightly, but if you want to take it off to make the boot just a little bit more soft because you're going to be in the park, you can actually definitely do that. And then of course there's going to be this. This is the V2 footbed. It's a dual density EVA. Has a moisture wicking style top. It's ultra cush style material, and it has a little bit of a heel and arch support there too. Quite a bit more. It feels a little bit more firm than what you'll find in the V1. But this is a really cool kind of like series of boots from Vans within the high standard. They have, like, again, the linerless OG, or the linerless DX, the high standard OG, and then of course there's the high standard Pro. This is kind of like the top end of the high standard series that was once the V66. You can change the comfort and how it feels. There's a team favorite, again, driven by innovation and of course function. Make sure to check them out at thehouse.com by selecting the link below in the description. Leave a comment or question. Let me know what you think of this thing here. Also, let me know how many times I said a cool part about this. I always tend to say that. Subscribe to the channel there. Check out more vids there, and hopefully I'll see you guys on snow. Peace.